Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond Borders. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a topic that's been front and center in the news and on a lot of people's minds: welfare in the United States. This is one of those subjects that sparks debate, misunderstanding, and sometimes heated opinions. Is welfare really a necessary support system, or is it abused and misused as some claim? What do the numbers actually show? Whether you've experienced tough times yourself, or you're just curious about the facts, it's important to cut through the myths and look at the real story. The truth is, welfare programs, like SNAP, Medicaid, and housing assistance, are a backbone for millions, especially when times get tough. Most recipients are working families, seniors, or people with disabilities, not the so-called lazy stereotype you might hear about. And here's a reality check. Experts say around 70% of Americans are only a few paychecks away from needing help. That could be any of us, especially in uncertain times. Estimates show that actual fraud or unnecessary use is only about 11–13%, far less than you might expect and better than many large-scale programs. So today, we're counting down the top 10 states where the highest percentage of residents rely on welfare programs. For each state, we'll unpack the unique economic and social factors driving these numbers. Whether you're here to learn, reflect, or just satisfy your curiosity, stick around as we journey across the map, one state at a time. Number 10, Georgia. Let's get started in the South with Georgia. While it's a state full of vibrant cities like Atlanta, Augusta, and Savannah, Georgia also faces persistent poverty, particularly in rural counties and some city neighborhoods. Generational poverty in these areas is often tied to the decline of major industries like textiles and agriculture, leaving fewer job opportunities for families. In recent years, Georgia has worked to attract new business and invest in education, but progress is uneven. Rural hospitals have closed, and access to affordable healthcare and childcare is still a challenge in many counties. Teachers in some districts spend out of pocket for classroom supplies, and public transport is limited outside Metro Atlanta, making it harder for people to get to work. On the flip side, Georgia's economic development projects are beginning to pay off in some areas, and new tech and film jobs offer hope for the future. But for now, the numbers stand: 13,247 out of every 100,000 Georgians rely on some form of welfare. Number 9, Oregon. Now let's head to the Pacific Northwest. Oregon is famous for its forests, mountains, and quirky city life in places like Portland and Eugene. But beneath the hip coffee shops and lush landscapes, there's a different story. Oregon faces significant challenges with affordable housing and homelessness. The transition away from the timber industry left many rural areas in economic distress. In eastern Oregon, communities are often hours away from the nearest hospital or community college. In urban centers, the rising cost of rent outpaces wage growth, driving more people into housing insecurity or onto the streets. Oregon has made efforts to improve things, raising the minimum wage, expanding Medicaid, and investing in affordable housing. But the need still outpaces the resources. You'll see tents along city sidewalks or in parks, and families doubling up in small apartments just to get by. Today, 13,775 Oregonians per 100,000 are enrolled in welfare programs, showing just how widespread the need has become. Number 8, Florida. If you only know Florida from postcards and Instagram, you might picture endless beaches, palm trees, and theme parks. But there's another side to the Sunshine State. Florida's booming tourism industry and influx of retirees can hide the real struggles faced by working families and the elderly. High housing costs, especially in coastal cities like Miami and Tampa, have pushed many residents into overcrowded or substandard housing. Agricultural workers in rural areas often face seasonal employment, and hurricanes frequently disrupt jobs and homes. Health disparities are common, and Florida's decision not to expand Medicaid has left many adults without health coverage. Despite these obstacles, Florida's diverse communities show incredible resilience. Many local nonprofits and faith groups step up to fill the gaps. Still, 13,852 out of every 100,000 Floridians currently depend on welfare programs, a reality that's often overlooked but crucial to understand. Number 7. Illinois. Moving to the Midwest, Illinois is a state of contrasts. Chicago is a global city with a vibrant economy, but it's also home to stark income inequality and neighborhoods where poverty rates are high. Outside the city, small towns and rural counties have seen factories close and populations decline, leaving fewer options for good jobs. In some places, public transportation is a lifeline, but in others, it's almost non-existent. Access to healthcare and quality schools can vary dramatically from one zip code to the next. Illinois has also struggled with state budget issues, which have affected social services, education, and infrastructure. Despite these challenges, Illinoisans are resourceful. Many communities are working to revitalize abandoned buildings, support local businesses, and create new opportunities for young people. But for now, 13,908 per 100,000 residents are receiving welfare, reflecting the ongoing struggle for economic security. Number 6. Alabama. Alabama, in the heart of the Deep South, is known for its rich culture, historic civil rights legacy, and yes, its legendary college football. But it's also faced stubborn poverty, especially in the Black Belt, a region of rural counties named for their dark, fertile soil. Generational poverty in Alabama is linked to a history of segregation and underinvestment in schools, healthcare, and transportation. Many rural hospitals have shut their doors, forcing residents to travel long distances for medical care. While the state has lowered its poverty rate a bit in recent years, thanks to new industry and federal aid, the progress is slow. Still, Alabama communities are resilient, neighbors help neighbors, and local churches often provide food and support. The numbers, though, remain high. 14,358 out of every 100,000 Alabamians receive welfare support. Number 5. Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, you'll find wide-open plains, powerful thunderstorms, and a strong sense of local identity. The state is a leader in agriculture and oil, but that prosperity doesn't reach everyone. Rural poverty is a big issue, and Native American communities face unique challenges tied to historical injustice and underfunded services. Limited access to quality education, mental health care, and stable jobs all play a role. After a downturn in the oil market, some towns lost a major employer overnight. In others, school funding remains a hot-button issue, with teachers striking for better pay and resources. Despite the odds, Oklahomans are known for grit and determination. Local food banks and job training programs are making a difference, but for now, 14,648 per 100,000 residents require welfare assistance, a sign that more work needs to be done. Number 4. Mississippi. Mississippi often lands near the bottom of national rankings for income and education, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Many communities are tight-knit, with strong traditions and deep family roots. Still, the lingering effects of segregation, a lack of large-scale industry, and underfunded schools have kept poverty rates high. The state has invested in education reform and workforce development, but progress is slow, especially in rural areas where there are few jobs and limited transportation options. Healthcare access is also a major challenge, with some counties lacking a single hospital. On the positive side, Mississippi's universities are growing, and there's a renewed focus on supporting young entrepreneurs. For now, though, 14,873 Mississippians per 100,000 rely on welfare, showing that the road to prosperity is still long. Number 3. West Virginia. West Virginia is famous for its wild, rolling hills and coal mining history. But when the coal industry declined, many towns lost their main source of jobs. The opioid crisis hit the state especially hard, leading to a spike in addiction, unemployment, and family breakdowns. Some parts of West Virginia are so remote that basic services are hours away. Public schools and health clinics are often underfunded, and young people sometimes leave in search of better opportunities elsewhere. Yet, the state is full of people fighting for change. Community gardens, local arts projects, and efforts to attract tech companies are all underway. The challenge is steep, but so is the determination. Right now, 17,144 out of every 100,000 West Virginians rely on welfare programs, making clear how important these safety nets are in times of transition. Number 2, Louisiana. Louisiana is a state of contrasts, world-famous food and music, breathtaking bayous, and festivals that bring people together. But it's also a place where poverty, especially in rural parishes, can feel inescapable. Natural disasters like hurricanes and floods have made life even tougher, wiping out homes and jobs with little warning. Despite these hardships, Louisiana's sense of community is legendary. Studies show that close family and friend networks can help people stay happy even in difficult conditions, a lesson the rest of the country could learn from. Economic inequality remains a challenge, and schools and hospitals in rural areas need more support. For now, 17,340 residents per 100,000 are on some form of welfare, a statistic that's as much about resilience as it is about need. Number 1, New Mexico. At the very top of our list is New Mexico, a state known for its otherworldly landscapes, rich Native American heritage, and vibrant art scene. But behind the beauty, New Mexico has long faced high poverty rates, especially in remote villages and among indigenous communities. The state's economy has struggled to diversify beyond a few major sectors, and many rural areas lack basic infrastructure like high-speed internet or public transit. Educational attainment lags behind the national average, and health outcomes do too. But change is coming, thanks to investments in renewable energy, tourism, and cultural preservation. Community organizations are working to close gaps in services and create new paths for young people. Still, the need remains great. 21,292 out of every 100,000 New Mexicans are enrolled in welfare programs, nearly a quarter of the state's population. And there you have it. The top 10 states where the highest percentage of residents rely on welfare programs. The stories behind these numbers are complex, but they're also a reminder that most Americans are closer to needing help than we might think. Welfare isn't just a handout, it's a bridge that helps people get back on their feet, rebuild after disaster, or care for their families in hard times. If this deep dive opened your eyes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Beyond Borders with your friends. We're here to tell the stories that matter, and your support helps us keep going. Thanks for joining us. Remember to look out for your neighbors, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.